Presenting for My Name is Will, Part 2, or More Proof for Skeptics. We return to Shakespeare's 1609 quarto of the Sonnets. This video is a sequel to For My Name is Will, Part 1. Please view that video if you have not already done so, for it will provide context for what's going to come in this video. These are companion puzzle sonnets, Sonnets 134, 135, and 136. They must be printed in this order. These editors, Sir Stanley Wells and Dr. Paul Edmondson, are mistaken. They claim the sonnets can be read in any order. I can further prove they are mistaken by showing hidden number puzzles not covered in Part 1. If you recall from Part 1, the sonnets are connected by the phrase "thy will," which appears in all three sonnets in either line 1 or 2. They are connected to words related to money that appear in all three of them. They are connected by words related to law. And words related to numbers. The writer tells us in these stanzas the name Will is not his real name. His identity, called myself in Sonnet 134, is in the number of the great receipt. He says in Sonnet 136, then in the number let me pass untold, in which me is his original identity, his real identity. Pass means to convey, and untold means secretly or hidden. The number we get when we solve the riddle in Sonnets 135 and 136 is 17, because we end up with 17 wills in those sonnets, and the digit sum of the numbers in Sonnets 134 and 135, 1 plus 3 plus 4, and 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 17. He is also hidden in that one will. He is also hidden in a number. Among a number, one is reckoned none. One, meaning the self, the poet himself, is reckoned or considered to be none or invisible. The number is 40. Now we will present more number puzzles. The gematria value of the uppercase W in the central sonnet is 40. The number of words in the couplet, the final two lines of the poem, is 17. We add these numbers and get 57. Now, there are 20 words in the final couplet in Sonnet 134. And 20 words again in the final couplet in Sonnet 136. Added together, those two numbers equal the gematria value of the uppercase W that begins Sonnet 135. And if you add to those couplet totals the number of words in the final couplet in Sonnet 135, you get 57 again. For more proof, we'll go to some word counts. Sonnet 134 has 121 words. Sonnet 135 has 117 words. Sonnet 136 has 124 words. We add all three together and get 362. Now, if we add up the sonnet numbers, we get a total of 405. We add the number of words to the number of sonnets and we get 767. However, remember in our easy peasy way to tell secrets, we can subtract things from a sum if they are smaller. We subtract the number of poems and the remainder is 764. 764 is the digits 764. You create out of that a digit sum. Whose value is 17. Now, we do the word count, subtract the sonnet sum to get 43. In order to get the clue, we go to the Latin alphabet repeating count chart. And number 43 has a letter value of VV once again. That is equal to the initial double W in the middle poem 135. If we subtract the number of poems from this number, as we did just a bit ago, the remainder is equal to V plus V in gematria. Again, that's equal to the decorative uppercase W in Sonnet 135. Now we present more number puzzles. For our first one, we add things which are similar in these phrases, thy will, in all three poems. The word thy totals 9 letters. Now we add up from those phrases things that are not the outliers. And you notice that in Sonnet 134, the word will is with a lowercase w and not in italics. So we add to this number the number of letters in WILL in italics with the uppercase W. Will totals 8 letters, and the sum 9 plus 8 is a familiar number. For our next puzzle, we add the number of words in these lines. Over plus counts as 2 words. Why? Because it is telling us over plus. We count this letter, the uppercase I in Sonnet 136, twice because, as I said in For My Name is Will Part 1, we can add the pronoun I to line 2 and it will not change anything of the scansion in the sonnet. It reads, if thy soul check thee that I come so near, I swear to thy blind soul that I was thy will. And it changes the meaning a bit, but it also adds to the meaning of the poem. We also count it twice because there is no gap below the letter, which is another clue that we can see the uppercase I as the pronoun. The result of doing those operations will be a familiar number again. For our third little puzzle, we add the gematria values for all smaller Roman uppercase letters in the first 2 lines of each poem. Then we subtract the number of italic letters, and the result is a multiple of 17. For our fourth puzzle, we take the gematria sum of all smaller Roman uppercase letters as before, and then we subtract the gematria sum of the larger Roman uppercase letters in those 2 lines from each of the 3 poems. We get another familiar number again. Here are the solutions to the last 4 puzzles. Equation 1 is 17, equation 2 is 57, equation 3 is 68, and equation 4 is once again 17. So for puzzle number 5, what about this? We take the last couplets in all 3 poems. We add the gematria values of Roman uppercase letters. Now remember, the compositor could easily have put uppercase letters in more words in these couplets than he did. So again, we add the gematria values of the Roman uppercase letters. Then we subtract the number of words. What is the gematria letter equivalent to the remainder? It is the letter V. For number 6, the sum of these numbers and homophones of numbers in all 3 poems is 43. And "43" is VV in the Latin alphabet repeating count once again. These are the numbers from all 13 puzzles seen in parts 1 and 2. Four involve the number 17 in some way. We have 17 times 1, 17 times 4. We have the number 57, which is 17 plus 40. And we have the digit sum number 764, in which the digits add up to 17. One of the solutions is the real author's code number, or V plus V in gematria, 40. One number has the Lark value of V. It is clear through these numbers that the author wrote the poems carefully to conceal his true identity. These homophones for English numbers and number add to 11, which is L or EL in gematria, which may be another acknowledgement of God's hand in the poems. We can conclude these scholars are mistaken. These are puzzle poems meant to be read in sequence. The writer tells us in these stanzas the name Will is not his real name. His identity is in the number 17 and in the number 40. Presenting the 1740 man. Given the clues and word connections in these poems, we can say that he was deeply in debt, which explains the allusions to money and the words for money and money processes in the poems. He was trained in law, which explains all of the great legal terms and how easily he inserted them into the poems. He was educated in Gray's Inn. He spent much of his youth and developing years in William Cecil's great estates. He also watched entertainments in the great hall for Hampton Court, which was at one time called Avon. When he was a child growing up, his father presented entertainments, interludes, and plays at their estate. Given the preponderance of these clues and the facts of this man's life, we can safely say that this man, Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, was Will Shakespeare. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.